My name is Floyd Hayes and I'm the former creative director of Cunning London and Cunning New York. Cunning was the first guerrilla marketing agency in Europe, and when I was there I worked on a number of high-profile PR stunts and guerrilla marketing campaigns, including the launch of the Mini Cooper, a brand I worked on for a subsequent 4 years. Let's take a look at some case studies. These are personal case studies I've worked on myself at my time at Cunning.
One of the first guerrilla marketing campaigns I worked on was for FHM Men's Magazine. They were looking to promote the 100 Sexiest Women edition of their magazine. Their objective was to generate national PR. They wanted to reach more people than their advertising budget would allow if they used traditional marketing means. One of the assets we had to work with was a picture of one of the models from the magazine. Her name was Gail Porter. She was a bit of a controversial character for posing in this magazine, as she was a former BBC presenter. Around this time, projection technology had fallen in price and had become more mobile. So the idea was to project Gail Porter, naked, 80 foot tall, onto the side of Big Ben and the Houses of Parliament, thus tying in the picture into the voting idea of the magazine. The resulting media coverage was considerable. In fact, 40 million people in Britain got to see this publicity stunt, making it the most successful PR stunt in British advertising history. Visual juxtaposition can be an extremely powerful way to grab someone's attention. This was our thinking behind the publicity stunt we created for Dockers Clothing. A game of football isn't newsworthy by itself, but it is when you float a real-sized soccer pitch with grass and look-alike players down the Thames. It was an image the media couldn't resist, and it resulted in over $2 million worth of free media coverage for our client. Word of mouth is more difficult to quantify than media coverage, but we can safely assume it would have been considerable for this stunt, as many millions would have witnessed it from the bridges, the buildings and the roads that overlook the Thames. Clients highly prize word of mouth, as we are far more likely to listen to the opinion and stories of our friends and colleagues than we are from an advertiser. Visually spectacular PR stunts are a fantastic way to get attention, but often just getting attention isn't enough. If you can get attention and create an unforgettable experience for your customers, then you will have a much more powerful piece of communication. When British Airways approached us to promote their Caribbean holidays brochure, we decided to recreate a real sand beach in the centre of London. We knew that a massive real sand beach in Covent Garden would provide a fantastic picture for the media, but we wanted to do more. We knew if people could experience a taste of a Caribbean holiday, they'd be far more likely to want to go on one. So we added beach games, volleyball, a real bar, sweepstakes, and other components to draw people into the publicity stunt and interact with the brand and the sales proposition in a much more deeper and engaging way. Australian actress and singer Kylie Minogue had a deal with British Airways at the time, so she came along and posed for cameras and rounded off the day's events with a high-profile celebrity photo call. The result for the client was many millions of dollars worth of free media coverage. Not to mention a huge amount of good word of mouth and interaction by the public, but more than that, it helped BA move away from its staid and stuffy image into a more playful and fun company. In short, the kind of company you would like to go on holiday with. Supplementing your traditional advertising with a more free-thinking approach to marketing is a great way of fostering brand appraisal. This may be why Sci-Fi Channel approached us a few years ago to help promote one of their shows called The Triangle. The Triangle was a 6-part mini-series and it was based on the phenomena of the Bermuda Triangle. The tagline to the show was, "Nothing stays lost forever." So we contacted 200 friends and asked them, what do you lose? They told us they lost things like the channel changer, keys, a cell phone, and somewhere on the list was the missing sock from the laundrette. The missing or lost sock in the laundry has a kind of universal appeal. It also has some humour, and intuitively it just felt right. The Lost Sock campaign consisted of 2 parts. The first part was a number of posters which had "Lost Sock, reward for finding it." The reward was a gaming system and a home theatre. Along with promotional details, the website carried a trailer for the show and further programme information. The second part of the campaign was to print 300,000 lost socks with the strapline and website nothingstayslostforever.com. Individual socks were then placed in wash and fold packages at laundrettes across Manhattan and 10 other US states. Although this could be seen as intrusive, we got away with this and people enjoyed it because of the sense of humour and this kind of insight about the missing sock. In addition to the word of mouth, we also received some great press coverage. This is a full-page piece in the Wall Street Journal. This was an important piece of media coverage for the brand because it signalled they were growing up and moving forward. It showed their new approach to programming and also their new approach to marketing. When Mini Cooper approached us to develop some free-thinking marketing for the launch of their new car, the first thing we did was to take a look at the competition. The traditional way to launch a car is to spend a fortune on television commercials. These typically show a silver car winding its way down a mountainside as a voiceover runs through a list of its features. Mini Cooper was entering a fiercely competitive market, and we knew we couldn't just compete on features. We had to compete on an emotional level. We had to earn people's respect and trust and really earn genuine social currency. So prior to launch, we instigated a 2-part teaser campaign. The first part involved handwriting many tens of thousands of matchbook messages. The messages said things like, "You look cool and you excite me," and featured a free call number. Casually dressed promotional people then went out and handed these matchbooks to people in clubs and bars. Curiosity would lead people to call the number on the cards. They knew it wasn't a cell number as it was an 800 number, but they wondered what was going on. When they reached the number, they heard Minnie's voice saying, "Hi, this is Minnie. Come and check out my hot bodywork online at minnie.co.uk. This could be termed direct response marketing, a notoriously poor way to market to people, as often people don't bother to respond. In this instance, 11.5% of the people who received a matchbook went online. This is a staggering figure for this kind of technique. One afternoon, we had access to an actual Mini car. This is quite a rare event, as BMW often don't have cars right up until the day of production. So we took advantage. We grabbed a camera and took some informal shots of the car. We embedded the website address in post-production on the pictures. We then printed many thousands of photographs and put them in these holiday snap wallets. These were typically given to people when they put their film in to get developed. These photo wallets were ubiquitous at the time. We placed the photo packs in bars and clubs, in the backs of cabs, and in the changing rooms of trendy boutiques. We knew curiosity would lead people to pick it up and open them, thinking they'd found someone's vacation snaps. What they discovered were photographs of this exciting new car, which hadn't previously been seen by the majority of the public. It was gratifying to see people passing these photographs around and talking about them. This is not something you often see with print advertising. One of the great things about owning a Mini is you can park it pretty much anywhere. It was this attribute that led us to the Guerrilla parking campaign. Not only did it show off this very useful feature, it also highlighted Mini's cheeky, fun, and adventurous personality. At the end of the year, we wanted to celebrate, so we created this spectacular festive tree made out of the fiberglass Minis we'd been using for the Guerrilla parking. The festive tree featured flashing lights and music, and we made it just a little bit too tall for London Bridge. This meant the authorities had to open London Bridge, bringing London to a standstill and creating a spectacular visual for the media. Okay, so we've seen some tactics and we've seen a campaign. Now I'd like to take you through what some clients call a big idea or a red thread idea. This is an idea that is singular, yet can sit in any media channel very comfortably. Dove Ultimate Visibly Smooth Deodorant was a new product by Unilever and Dove. A large component of the brief was to create a sampling platform with a creative theme that could sit across many other disciplines, for example digital. The product promised to reduce the look and feel of underarm hair over time, and this led to our big idea. Our big idea was called the Piticure. The Piticure was to your underarms what a pedicure or a manicure was to your hands and feet. Strategically, this meant we could move away from talking about underarms and hair and start talking about skincare and beauty. We launched the campaign by sending out Piticure packs to long lead editors and beauty bloggers. The packs contained the product, a copy of the TV advert, and a pamphlet explaining how to do a pedicure at home. It also included a letter from our celebrity dermatologist to the stars, Dr. Deborah Luffman. We created an online pedicure spa for NBC.com's full episode player. Dr. Luffman would invite people to interact with her spa. Viewers could click on the diary to find out when the pedicure experience was coming to their city. They could click on the computer to interact with the brand via social networks and Facebook. They could also click on the product itself to learn about the pedicure. Offline, we created the Pedicure Spa experience, which toured the States. We used it as a base for sampling. We used it as a press junket for celebrities and journalists. And we also used it as our actual spa treatment area. The pedicure experience consisted of 3 steps. First, an arm and upper body massage. Second, an exfoliation. Third, applying the product. The pedicure experience was a huge success. It was packed every day and sold out to capacity. It generated a ton of media and in total reached 500,000 women. We gave out 2 million sticks of deodorant, and the pedicure went on to be trademarked globally by Unilever. Due to its novelty and utility, we knew women would tell all their friends, both in person and through their social media. The online work and the pedicure experience led everyone to this microsite where they could learn how to do a pedicure at home. They could learn about the product itself and were given a money off coupon in order to incentivize them to try it. Thank you for taking the time to sit through my credentials. I hope you enjoyed the work. If you'd like me to hold a workshop for you and your team, or if you'd like me to work on one of your projects, please email me ideas@floydhayes.com or call me 917 684 1870. Thanks again.